Heartbreaker was a off the farm, which would have been a $32,000 purchase from Rotoball. This boar is bred by Jim there and the Rotoball team. Romeo Visionary Bone Thug. This boar here was purchased before the World Pork Expo. And Jim, I happened to be up there looking at some red boars there at Justin's and Tres Amigos, and Jim said, hey, he says, I hate to tell you this. He said, I know you're judging the crossbred boars at Expo, but he said, I think there's one here you need to see. And it didn't take him long to run this one out in the yard. We just had to figure out what he was going to cost. And this boar, for me, and we talk about crossbred hogs that need more size and need more grow in them. I think this is a boar right here that combines the heaviness of feature, the stoutness to look with a hind leg like that without sacrificing and giving you a little more skeletal extension. I think this boar right here has a tremendous amount of upside to what this boar can bring to the table. Very true in terms of his build when you study this boar from the top of his blade down to the ground coming at you with that kind of hip and hind leg. We can put a lot of bone in hogs, but if we can't get them to use them like this one does, it don't do a whole lot of good in the show ring from that standpoint. I know Jim is very proud of that Visionary Bone Thug sow, and I think he said how old is that sow now, Jim? She's got quite a few. Third parent. He's got quite a few litters on the backside of this, but the Bone Thug sow, obviously on the bottom side, goes back numerous generations. And I know Jim said he's kept as many daughters out of that mating as he possibly can. I believe he kept all the gilts out of this particular litter. He told me when we were up there. But as you can tell, I think there's a lot of fundamentals in this boar. We can all sit around ringside when we get to looking at hogs, and we can always nitpick things like this and that. But in any type and kind, in my opinion, boars like this never go out of style. Show pigs like this never go out of style. And I think this boar has a lot of good things to complement. I think this is a boar, again, the Romeo stuff in terms of heaviness of structure, feature, getting bone at 6 months of age. That's one of the things that Jim preached to me up there. He said the good part about it is those hogs get bone early in their maturity. We don't have to feed them quite as long to get them stout enough to run in the show ring. And I commend them for that aspect of keeping that in mind when they're breeding those hogs. And I think a boar that puts a lot of good things together. So this is Heartbreaker. Stress negative boar from Rotoballs.